Wait, why is Noah Schnapp crying? If you somehow don't know, the cast of Stranger Things is pretty tight with their fan base, who will literally hang on to just about everything that they say and do, for better or for worse. So imagine now when Schnapp decided to post something online about the two-part season 4 finale that released on the 1st and sent the fans into a frenzy, trying to determine what he was so emotional about. They might have found out the answer already, but the fact that he was willing to put that picture only speaks volumes in various ways, so we'll break it down for you. Number 4, the post. Fans have waited with bated breath for the final 2 episodes ever since they binged on the first 7 episodes in May of 2022. Several twists were teased by the showrunners for the finale already, and Noah Schnapp seemed to add to it with a post online. Taking to his Instagram account, Noah Schnapp dropped an emotional post as he shared a selfie of himself crying after having watched the finale of the show. The actor who plays Will Byers on the show shared the photo in his Instagram story and wrote, "Happy Stranger Things finale," while looking tearful and giving a rather emotional reaction with his hand on his forehead. The post shared by Schnapp has left fans wondering if it is a spoiler. The photo shared by Noah led fans to believe that his character, Will Byers' fate, may be in trouble in the finale. Among the many discussions surrounding his character's journey on the show, the one that was discussed when the first volume of the show season 4 came out also happened to be Will's sexuality. Many have speculated that his character will be coming out to his best friend, Finn Wolfhard's Mike Wheeler, on the show. Netizens also wondered if Schnapp's emotional reaction was for that moment from the finale. We're not likely to know why exactly he cried or what really drove him to make the post in the first place, if we're being honest here, but many fans have admitted that they weren't ready for the various gut punches that came from watching the 2-part finale of Stranger Things. But what this does show is that the cast and crew behind it are just as invested in everything as the fans. And in fact, Noah and another star admitted they cried before season 4 released at all. Number 3, crying for the end. The 17-year-old performer visited The Tonight Show a while back, where host Jimmy Fallon brought up the fact that Stranger Things has one more season left after the recent Volume 2 release. Schnapp responded by recalling an emotional moment earlier this year when co-creators Matt and Ross Duffer announced in an open letter shared to media outlets that the show will end with its subsequent 5th season. They recently posted this letter that they wrote, which I never saw until they posted because they don't really tell us anything, because they know I'm always spoiling stuff, Schnapp said. So they put out this letter and it's like, the show's ending. That's it. This is the beginning of the end. And I read it and I was just bawling. I was so upset. Schnapp went on to say that he even reached out to co-star Millie Bobby Brown, 11, for support, and she was on the same page, as was Gaten Matarazzo, Dustin. And I texted Millie, my castmate who plays 11, and she was like, "You're crying too? So am I," recalled Schnapp, who told the crowd that he was 9 when he first auditioned for the role. And then she texted Gaten, who also plays Dustin. He's like, "I'm crying too." And then we all texted the Duffers and we're like, "This is so sad. I can't believe this is over." And they're like, "You guys gotta stop texting us. I know it's over, but we have time left." Now that speaks volumes, wouldn't you say? Because this show was such a key part of their lives that when they heard confirmation that it was over, they couldn't help but cry, and no doubt many fans are feeling the same way. Oh, but if you want more tears, there was a different kind of crying that happened on set that no one really expected. Number 2, the Vecna reaction. Millie Bobby Brown had a strong reaction when she saw Jamie Campbell Bower in his prosthetic costume as the Stranger Things Season 4 villain. They brought her up into a position where she's bound, Bower recalled to Variety. "I walked up to her as Vecna and she burst into tears. She wouldn't look at me and she was visibly just disgusted by the whole thing." He added that Brown calmed down when she recognized him beneath the makeup. You likely didn't see that one coming, did you? But you have to remember that this show is meant to be freaky, and Vecna was mostly done with practical effects, so the look that Millie saw was no doubt at least a little terrifying. Brown also admitted that during a previous season, she was so exhausted mentally and physically from the scene that she had to do with the others that when she went to a bit where she had to cry, she literally had an emotional breakdown. So much so that you can see Finn Wolfhard's Mike look off camera for a moment because he knows that this wasn't her acting. They kept the shot in because it was so good and real. So yeah, they cry a lot on the show. Not that it's a bad thing given the depth and mature storytelling that they do here. Number 1, Byers Orientation. One of the things that fans are indeed obsessed with in terms of Noah Schnapp's character of Will Byers beyond the crying that has been going on is whether Will is gay or not. In an interview with Variety, Noah said, "I feel like they never really address it or blatantly say how Will is. I think that's the beauty of it, that it's just up to the audience's interpretation. If it's Will kind of just refusing to grow up and growing up slower than his friends, or if he is really gay. Millie was there too, then added, "Can I just say it's 2022 and we don't have to label things." I think what's really nice about Will's character is that he is just a human being going through his own personal demons and issues. So many kids out there don't know, and that's okay. That is okay to not know, and that's okay not to label things. Noah concludes, "I find that people do reach to put a label on him and just want to know so badly, like, oh, and this is it. He's just confused and growing up, and that's what it is to be a kid." Anyone tracking the journey of Will Byers, Noah Schnapp, over the course of the show has noticed that the kid who survived the Upside Down has struggled to reconnect with his old Dungeons & Dragons buddies for reasons that don't seem to have much to do with being captured by a Demogorgon from an alternate dimension. Namely, Will seems like he's gay and is struggling to come out, or at least that's how it looks to fans. The impression has only grown stronger in Season 4. In the first episode, Will and 11, Millie Bobby Brown, have to give a presentation in their new California high school on a hero that they look up to. Will chooses Alan Turing, the gay mathematician who was prosecuted in the 1950s for his sexuality and forced to undergo chemical castration. Will also physically recoils from a girl who shows interest in him. And when Mike, Finn Wolfhard, visits from Hawkins in episode 2 over spring break, Will appears heartbroken that Mike has been so indifferent to him in favor of his girlfriend, 11. Later in episode 4, when Mike confides in Will that he wishes he'd expressed his feelings for 11 more plainly to her, Will offers insight that could easily apply to anyone working up the courage to come out to a best friend. Sometimes I think it's just scary to open up like that, to say how you really feel, especially to people you care about the most, Will says. Because what if they don't like the truth? For their part, Schnapp and Brown say that they're happy that Will's sexuality has remained undefined. It is such an amazing role for Noah to play, Brown says, and to be that role model for kids out there who don't know what they're going through growing up. Will is kind of like a zebra in a field of horses. Schnapp adds he kind of stands out. It's just nice to see that and have that shown on Stranger Things for fans to connect to and be able to relate to, because so many of our viewers are young kids who are at that stage in their life. The end of Season 4 didn't provide all the answers fans wanted, so perhaps Season 5 might be when they get the truth. But what do you think? What do you think of this look at Noah Schnapp and why he posted that picture online about the finale of Stranger Things Season 4? Do you think that he was just doing that to showcase how emotional he himself got about the finale, even though he had already filmed it? Do you feel that there is going to be more done with Schnapp's character in the 5th and final season of the show? Let us know in the comments below, and we will see you next time on the channel.